Ladies and gentlemen, a day I didn't think was coming at this point has finally arrived, as Payday 3 has just dropped a full insight into Skills 2.0, the complete overhaul of Payday 3's skill system. Now, a couple of things, very, very briefly. Today is my busiest day for work, so this dropping is slightly inconvenient, but I wanted to get a video out as soon as possible, so this is going to be probably completely unedited. If I make any gaffes or there's any gaps in my speaking, I'm probably not going to fix them. You probably won't even notice a difference anyway, but I'm putting it in there because I'm a bit OCD about these things. And also, I know I've not talked about the last update for Payday 3 yet. I know I said I'm going to. I still haven't played it. Genuinely have not chanced to get to it yet, and I'm hoping I will soon. Maybe I'll do a stream one night this week. That would be amazing if I can swing that. We'll see. But also, Sonic Racing Crossworlds just came out, and I'm going to be playing that a lot, so who knows. At least this way I get to do a Payday 3 video and talk about some stuff for Payday 3, as well as play some stuff with Sonic, because I'm going to do a video review on that at some point soon, because I'm absolutely loving the tiny bit I've played so far, so I'm really excited. But without any further ado, we're going to get right into this, break down the full Skills 2.0 system, give my overall thoughts on it. I've not read too much into it. You can see I've set up some tabs so we're ready to look over some stuff, but I've tried to look at as little as possible so we can get proper reactions here. So if you're excited, please do click the like button below. I'd greatly appreciate it, and click subscribe and comment. Let me know what you think about the skill system. Let me know what you think about all the details of it. So let's do a bit of a dive, shall we? Let's see what this new skill system looks like. So, they've come out of a warm summer. Yeah. Happy anniversary, Payday 3. Yeah, crazy enough, 2 years since Payday 3 came out. I feel so old. I feel so old. They've had a very positive reception to Delivery Charge. Soon enough, I'll get to actually play it and see what I think. But it's high time they start showing off the new skill system, as it's currently in testing. So it's not got a release date yet. It's one thing I did notice. I had a quick glance through to see if there was a date I'd missed. There will be more information revealed on a live stream on October 2nd, I believe the date is. We'll see it in a minute anyway. So they will probably talk about it more in depth there. But it seems that there's no real release date. So I don't know how soon or how far it's going to be coming out, but at least we got an insight into the system itself, which we're going to get into. But they're going to be talking about trying to bring more potential power to the player, which will require them to rebalance or adjust many aspects of the game. So they're not going to go into that just yet, but they are revealing, first off, they are doing away with Edge, Grit, and Rush. It was confusing players early on and didn't provide the dynamic gameplay we'd originally hoped for, so gone, poof, dead. Thank you very much. Very good stuff to see. We love to see it. I don't know why I said love like that, but we're moving. I'm excited. So, all numbers, descriptions, functionality, costs, basically everything you see in the text and images below is work in progress and may change ahead of launch. Now, you can just about see it above my camera. Look at this scroll bar. This is a long article, baby, so we may not do every single detail. I'm going to go through as much of it as I can, give you a basic overview of all the key things, and as always, I'll link it in the description anyway, so you can look through it in your own time, as and when you wish. So, we're showing you things fairly early in this case because the release version of this won't have time to be adjusted all that much. So I'm basing it off this. They want to, get feedback on it, see what people think, and adjust things ahead of time because when they release it, there may not be as much time to change things around by that point. So they're basically trying to get input before it's too late, which is good. Very important to have community feedback on early to make sure that if anything sounds too OP or too weak, we can give feedback. Obviously, without having played it is not the best scenario. Playing it often is the best way to see how these things work. But at the very least, anything that sticks out like a sore thumb for good or bad reasons can be identified. So, here's the best bit. This is the bit I have seen. We are going back to the Payday 2 3 sections per group skill tree system with several tiers. Now, what we have here are, as it says, 6 skill categories, so more than Payday 2, with 3 skill trees in each, totaling 126 skills plus ace versions to be exact. They're grouped in categories and playstyle, which will make it easier and, it'll be better than the old system, but also very familiar for Payday 2 players. The trees will be tree-shaped with an evolving skill at their start. That base skill will level up based on how many points total you put in the tree overall, making it so that investing in one particular tree pays off. Every skill is aceable, meaning you can still select skill 1 for the base version or twice for an additional skill point with a stronger effect. So it seems as though the general base skill here, like they're saying, will get stronger the more things you pick in that tree. An improvement on Payday 2 system, interesting enough. We're going to look at the images in a minute because I did see something smaller down here that I thought was worth pointing out. So they've said chances you played a game using a skill tree at some point in your gaming life, but what you haven't probably done is gone through sideways with a skill group. What they're doing is, using the soldier category as an example, so we can see here with this image, again, we're going to break it down in a sec. I'm doing this in this order because I've seen this bit and I think it's better to do it this way. So, the soldier category has 3 different subcategories: Juggernaut, Commando, Grenadier. All of these covering armor, LMG assault rifles, beautiful, and frag grenades respectively. If you invest all the way up to the Juggernaut tree, you'll be able to pick any of the Commando or Grenadier skills. The goal of the system is to offer you flexibility while not trivializing point investments across skill categories too much. So aside from the base skill being stronger the more points you invest in that tree, also from that wording, if you unlock tier 4 in Juggernaut by investing points in Juggernaut, you'll also have all tiers available to you in Commando and Grenadier, so you can basically just go crazy in Juggernaut and then grab the top skill in Commando if you want, without having to have pre-invested points anywhere else in the tree. Again, more flexibility. Now, you will probably get some complaints on this. I expect a little bit, on the sense that, you know, people like that you really had to spec into specific builds in Payday 2, and that it was really focused on going for particular loadouts, particular skill sets. Whereas here, it'll be at least a little bit easier to get things in similar trees without investing in the underneath points. Personally, I don't think that's an issue. If it unlocks tier 4 for every single skill, that would be an issue, but it's not doing that. It's specific to the trees within each particular group. And I think that's, I don't know, a really good way to still focus you on specific areas like the soldier, but open up more doors within that area, so you can be a more well-rounded person of that type playing a game, and also still be different enough to other people who invest points in other trees. I think you kind of got, I don't want to say it because I've not looked at the skills, because obviously the skills themselves are going to impact this, but in theory and in construction, it kind of looks like they took Payday 2's more recent skill system and made it a bit better. I don't know. I think it looks really cool. I'm excited. So let's have a look over the general structure here. Now, it's going to be a bit annoying, again, not editing this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little zoom out like this, and then I'm going to do a little bit of this in OBS. Well, look at that. That's what we call being a skilled content creator, or just moving a window in OBS. I like the former, it sounds cooler. So, in Soldier, we have got 3 different branches: Juggernaut, Commando, and Grenadier. You can see some of the skill names here, you can pick some things out and get some ideas, but the overall view of them is what we're going to focus on first off, because I think I've seen they do describe every single skill at the bottom here. So for Juggernaut, it's a focus on the best offense being a kick-ass defense, like you're a guard in Whiterun. Commando focuses on gaining proficiency with assault rifles and LMGs. I will be using that no matter what. LMG class, I'm going to be having a great time. And Grenadier, get the most bang out of your frag grenades, so some grenade-based skills. I like the look of sudden impact. Suggest possibly impact grenades, one of my faves in Call of Duty, so I really hope that's what that means for Payday 3. Ninja, strike from the shadows and always have an exit strategy. Actually, I didn't realise it says at the top a description of the overall class. Soldier is armor up and shoot them up. If that doesn't work, blow them up. I like these are cool. But yeah, Ninja, so striking from the shadows. You have Infiltrator, which allows you to dodge, chop, pick, slide, and dodge. Oh boy. Special Ops, which allows you to gain proficiency with SMGs, interesting. And Fog Machine, care for a smoke grenade. So, more smoke grenade-based skills. Intriguing. Okay. Heavy Smoker. I'm looking at some of these base skills and wondering how they're going to level up. So maybe generally making SMG stronger the more points you put in this tree. Dodge, maybe the more points you put in this tree, the more powerful your dodge is. Guys, I've said this before, I don't love contributing to the we're so back, it's so over thing. I really try not to do that anymore, and I realise that hyping something up so much makes it very easy for it to let you down if it doesn't live up to how it looks, but I'm really, really impressed with how this is looking, people. I'm really impressed. Okay, Mechanic, you make the best killing machines because it takes one to know one. You got Engineer, embrace the robot apocalypse, so sentry skills. You got Shotgunner, it does what it says on the tin, proficiency with shotguns. So maybe reloading faster here, better accuracy or damage point blank, probably accuracy. Stockpiling for ammo. Berserker, okay, probably know what that's going to be, linking to Payday 2. An Electrician, have you heard the buzz about shock grenades? So interesting, every tier, or one of the 3 each time has been about grenades so far, does that? Oh wow, it continues into the other trees? Wow. So, okay, 5 of the 6 focus on throwables of some form in one of the 3 trees. Very interesting. Okay. Anyway, next up is Hacker. Awareness is control. You can see them, but they'll never see you coming. You got Black Hat. Turn their cybersecurity into a cyber threat. So these are all maybe camera-based skills, tech-based skills. Okay, cool. Good one for stealth, no doubt. Hitman. Proficiency with handguns. Okay. Some interesting stuff here, possibly. Quick Draw, Bounty Hunter, Cheap Trick, okay. And Flashpoint, razzle-dazzle them with your flashbang grenades. Oh, anyone get an update 237 flashbacks here? Oh, Starbreeze. One thing I've never got tired of is your self-awareness. I'm glad to see it coming back here. But yeah, some skills with flashbang grenades, good stuff. And then Conman, best grifters are the ones who can work out in the open. Imposter, meow, don't know why I made that noise. Be the last person anyone would suspect, so that is... Looks like possibly some casing mode skills, maybe, like plain sight, hall pass, some of the stealth skills that allowed you to blend in a bit more with rush active, maybe now just letting you blend in generally. Interesting. Pill pusher, which gives you some health stuff. Healthy crew is a happy crew, so a lot of the health skills. I'm not seeing a mention of inspire there. I'm not saying they should add Inspire. I'm just like, I'm aware that that's a big health one, and I was wondering if it'd be there. And then Cutthroat, so skills specifically for throwing knives. Knife Expert, Laceration, Fan Throw, Prison Shiv, Hidden Blade. Hidden Blade? Wait, does that mean that's a skill that when you have a handgun out, you can just, like, tactical knife, like Modern Warfare 2, like 2009? You know, the good one? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, okay. Sorry, I love doing that okay quote from the Fantastic Four. I have a problem. Puppet Master, manipulate the masses. We have got lots of hostage skills. Okay. Long shot, gain proficiency with sniper and marksman rifles. Okay. And ammo specialist, you can never have too many bullets. Okay. My brain, man. So you've got some real good variants here in skills. Interested by the stealth stuff. So it seems like we've got Black Hat's going to be an interesting one for some of the stealth skills. And maybe I'm looking for Locksmith. Okay, so Infiltrator, yeah. So Dodge also tying in some lockpicking there. So it seems like the stealth ones are going to be Infiltrator, Black Hat, and Imposter. They're going to be the ones you go for immediately. Possibly also maybe some Puppet Master skills. I don't know. Oh, there's Ammo Funnel. I was wondering if I'd seen Ammo Funnel anyway. I completely missed that. So that is still in the game. Okay, fair. But the thing is, like we said at the time, Ammo Funnel was not necessarily the problem. It was more that every other skill didn't have unique traits the way Ammo Funnel did. So I honestly think Ammo Funnel could thrive more in an environment where other skills are just as big, because you may not always go for Ammo Funnel because there's other stuff that's just as interesting. So exciting. So let's see what we've got. Let's zoom back in the right level and bring this screen back to where it should be. That's not it. There we go. Perfect. OBS adapting on the fly, people. That's how we do things. So, we believe this new system will make it much easier to keep track of what benefits come from what skill points, and you'll feel a much more noticeable difference when you respec. Each build will feel more specialised and capable, giving you a stronger feeling of being good at what you built into. We'll believe it much better, also allowing you the freedom of creating varied and exciting builds. We know this feature will require adjustments in the future, so don't be shy with feedback now or when you get your hands on it. Exactly. So, we'll host a stream on October 2nd where we introduce Jonas, the new Payday General Manager, and speak about Payday in the future. Hope to see you there. We're assuming most people stopped reading at the skill table, so let's just half-ass the outro. Love you. Thanks for all the support for Delivery Charge. Hope you're excited for the new skill system and it scratches that skill build itch. If not, let us know. Payday General Manager. I mean, obviously a question that's been on some people's minds since Almir Listo left Starbreeze is, what's the game director situation? Is Andreas just in full game director mode? Is someone else going to take over? Is General Manager their new term for game director? Or is it someone that's going to work in tandem with Jonas or whoever else is directing the game? I don't know. Interesting terminology choice. I'm drawn to that. But either way, that's streaming October 2nd, which is when? That is a week on Thursday. Will be very, very interesting. And, I've put the wrong screen up and nearly blinded myself. My eyes. But yeah, I'll be keeping a close eye on that and see what they talk about there. That could be another good thing to discuss. I mean, right now, as I said, it's the 14th anniversary of Payday, 2 years of Payday 3, and so on and so forth. So I think they're going to be revealing more stuff as time goes on. If anything else does come up that I want to talk about, obviously I'll make a video on it. But as I said in my video last week, I'm going to talk about things as and when I think it's necessary to make videos on them. So maybe not every single time, but maybe I'll collect things into one video, or however it may be. This certainly warranted an emergency and unedited recording, though. I think you can understand that. So, now they have got previews of every single one of the, 18 different skill trees? So, I don't know if we're going to read every single one in complete detail, I'll be honest with you, because we'll be here all day if I do that, but I want to scan through them with you all and pick out things of interest. So, Juggernaut, what might be a good idea here is if I can get, here we go, the full window on the screen would be fantastic. So, it'll be slightly more zoomed out, but it'll allow us to see things a little bit better. So, for example here, extra protection. So, we can look at the base skills. This is what I'm really interested in. For every skill point in this line, gain 1% damage reduction to armor chunks, but you cannot exceed 80% total. And you get additional per skill point if you ace it, right? For every point of trauma your current armor chunk has. Okay. Then we've got headshot kills to reduce armor regen, additional armor bags and more charges. Armor bags with more charges again. If your loadout contains armor bags at the start of a heist, receive an additional armor bag. Ooh. Okay. So I guess that means if you bring... So that means you could carry 3 armor bags, right? Based on that? Because you can bring one additional... no, sorry, I misread. No, you bring in a second armor bag, right, fine, okay. Carrying 2 bags at once, no longer suffer a movement penalty. And then at the top, disengage from Zapper and Cloak or stun attacks with a 30-second cooldown. So we've seen that already. Commando, so assault rifles and LMGs. For every point in the skill line, assault rifles and LMGs gain additional 0.1 armor penetration. Okay, reload speed increases by 2.5% for each point in this skill line. Oh, that's good. And the bonus doubles when reloading an empty mag. Oh, okay. Carry 30% more ammo. Okay, raise it to 80%. Whoo. Each hit with the assault rifle or LMG gains 2% accuracy boost or accuracy. Oh wait, until you reload swap weapons or miss a shot. Accuracy bonus no longer ends from missing a shot. Instead, it decreases by 2% per shot missed. Whoa. I mean, it still would end when you reload or swap weapons, but so like it's not permanent, but that's good. Especially for LMGs, that's going to be cracked. Again, if you don't know, if you're newer to the channel, LMGs are like one of my favorite weapon classes, especially in Payday. They were always so much fun to use. It's cool to see there'll be even more focus there. Additional health damage, additional health damage bonus for the ace, okay. Armor penetration again for each hit that does not penetrate enemy's armor. This bonus stacks infinitely and ends once the enemy is killed. Okay, so that might be useful on a bulldozer, maybe? Could be, I don't know. And then ammo funnel. So yeah, if you kill an enemy that still has their armor intact, oh wow, hang on a minute. So aces replenish. They just combine ammo funnel and replenish into the top skill. So yeah, when you get a kill, you automatically receive the ammo drop, but if it's aced, it goes straight into the magazine. I'm really glad they've stuck with that. I honestly thought they might try and nerf it when they made the new skill system, but again, as I said, if you've got a lot of really strong skills to match up with it, it can exist in this ecosystem and feel good. I'm really glad they haven't touched that. I know there's going to be some people who go, of course they wouldn't touch it based on the reaction it got last year, but let's be fair here. When they actually do a full new skill system, that is a good chance to change it if they want to, but I'm glad they haven't taken that chance. I'm very glad. That makes me so happy. That might be one of my favourite ones because it means LMGs are going to be so much more fun to use. Cool. Grenadier. Every point in the skill line, oh wow, okay. So again, they haven't mentioned point costs here. It's one thing to be aware of. They've not really talked about how many points you'll have to use and how much each of these skills cost. So we can't really ascertain how much stronger the buffs are going to be from these normal skills until we know that. But I mean, even if you put 10 points into this, you double the damage of your frag grenades. That's cool. You've got additional damage from all sources if they're injured by frag grenades, boosts to 45 with the ace. If your loadout contains frag grenades at the start, you receive an additional one or 3 additional ones. Frag grenades explode on impact. It's going to be good. Because the thing with impact grenades, often the trade-off in like Call of Duty is they're weaker, but they detonate on impact. If you've got a frag grenade that's just as strong, but blows up to where you throw it, that's going to be good. If a frag grenade explodes by colliding with an enemy, it deals an additional 60% damage. So it's going to make them even more powerful if they're impactful. Oh, I think I'm going to really hone in on the soldier stuff for loud. That's going to be interesting. Okay, I'm going to pick this off for a 2% chance to restore a throwable, or 5% if it's aced. When your frag grenade explodes, it is a 25% chance to restore 1 frag grenade. Whereas aced, after exploding, the frag grenade will break into 2 smaller grenades that each deal 30% of the original grenade's damage. Smaller grenades have a 10% chance to restore 1 frag grenade. Okay. Again, pretty cool feature here. I like this. There's some good stuff. Right, Ghost, Dodge, what have we got? Normal, for every point in the skill line, you get a permanent 2.5% chance to dodge. Your maximum dodge chance decreases by 20% for each active armor chunk. Right, so you want to run 1 armor chunk build for that, makes sense. Standing still for 2 seconds increases your dodge by 2.5% for every point in the skill tree. So what I wonder there is, when does that stop applying? You know, you stand still for 2 seconds, then you start moving around. Is it as soon as you get hit, the dodge thing drops, or like as soon as you dodge ammo fire, is it after a cooldown? That could be specified there. But yeah, interesting. So again, depending on how many points you could put in here, you could get a big increase. I mean, imagine if, for example, the most you could put into a specific subtree was 30 points. 30 times 2.5 is 75% dodge. So, like, you could get some really good stats here. Again, it depends on how many points you can put in, though. If it's 20 points, 50%. Like, you can get some good stuff. Quick melee and unalerted guard to kill them instantly. Ooh, okay. Any guard killed with a judo chop, as it's called, must be examined closely by guard civilians before they realise the victim is dead. That's cool, alright. Taking non-environmental damage increases your dodge chance by 2.5% until you perform a successful dodge. See what I mean? That could be worded there to make things easier. Raise your dodge bonus from the damage suffered to 7.5%, okay. Successfully dodging any damage restores 2 points of health. You got a high dodge chance and combine it with health boosts, so you can get some good stuff there for sure. When health is at maximum, you convert the points into adrenaline, so adrenaline sticking around, good. Only takes 1 lockpick jiggle to successfully pick a lock, cool. After performing a quick melee on a locked door to unlock it, wait, what? Perform a quick melee on a locked door to unlock it instead of breaking it. Oh, wow. Oh, that's going to be fun for stealth. Okay. On the run while sprinting or sliding, and for 2 seconds afterwards, dodge increases by 15%. Shoot and reload SMGs while sprinting or sliding. Cool. Very good. So the locksmith skill there could be very good for stealth. The rest of it, again, very, very fun stuff. And judo chop, to be fair. Spec Ops, so SMGs. So every point now we get additional armor damage for SMGs, and for ace recoil reduction. More ammo reserves. When you break an enemy's armor layer with SMG, the enemy becomes heavily staggered. Perform a quick melee on an enemy while wielding an SMG to reload it instantly. Ooh. When you use an SMG to kill an enemy with 6 meters, gain a buff that increases your SMG's hip fire accuracy by 35%. Notice they put the buff in brackets there. I guess maybe they want a keyword, but I'd just call it a buff, or just call it increased hip fire accuracy. Don't overcomplicate it like the Edge Grit and Rush did. Every time you kill an enemy from SMG farther than 6 meters, gain a buff, increases the accuracy. Each buff lasts for 4 seconds. Ace, if you kill an enemy with SMG, increases both hip fire and accuracy, regardless of distance. Duration of these buffs increases to 6 seconds. Okay. Cracked, breaking enemy's armor layer with SMG suffers additional damage and increases to 30 with Ace. And then SM Genius, this is one of my favourite skill names for sure. When you reload an empty magazine from your SMG, you gain a buff that increases SMG damage by 5% for 10 seconds. This buff can stack up to 10 times, and the duration refreshes when you reload another empty magazine from your SMG. Once the buff reaches maximum stacks, it can no longer refresh and will expire after 10 seconds. So there is like an artificial cap, and it will shut off after a certain amount of time. Okay, fair. That's a good SMG damage increase. You reload an empty magazine, but it's for 10 seconds, so it refreshes when you reload. So if you were to be firing really quickly every 10 seconds, emptying a mag and reloading, you would get an increase the buff, but you would chew through your ammo fast. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. Interesting. Perhaps one of the bigger trade-offs for a top skill I've seen so far. Smoke grenade skills, what have we got? Increased smoke grenade range, increased duration, additional smoke grenades, deal 20% less damage if enemies are caught on the cloud. That's the enemies, that is. And also lasts after they escape the smoke. Increase the penalty. If you have any chance to dodge, it doubles while you're standing in a smoke grenade's cloud. Wow. So wait, does that mean you can in theory get max dodge? Because it didn't talk about a maximum dodge earlier. So I wonder if you could get a 100% dodge chance if you had, say, 50% chance to dodge and then stood in a smoke grenade cloud. Make you invulnerable. Kind of a bit of a Sicario type vibe from Payday 2. I don't know if that was never guaranteed dodge, but it felt close to it at times. Enemies suffer 10 points of health damage per second while standing in your smoke grenade cloud. The damage increases to 25 per second, but does not affect dozers and naders. Well, naders, that makes sense. They've got a gas mask on. Escape artist, if you become down by any smoke grenades with any smoke grenades in your possession, deploy a smoke grenade instead and gain a fixed 100% chance to dodge for 6 seconds. So that's just Swan Song, but with smoke grenades. Once this ability activates, it will refresh after 2 minutes. This event will still cost you 1 down. Okay, so you don't down, but you lose a down. Well, Swan Song never stopped you from downing. It just gave you an interesting ability. While this ability is active, any headshot damage you inflict while standing in a smoke grenade smoke cloud increases by 4,444%. I wonder if they've calculated that so you do kill dozers pretty quickly or instantly. That's one of the best ones so far as well. That's brilliant too. Okay, I like that. Mechanic, we're only a third of the way through, man. How long have I been recording? This is crazy. Blimey, maybe we should speed up slightly. Well, sentry turrets, I'm going to be honest, I'm biased. I've never been the biggest fan of these, mainly because I always use other stuff instead of them. I know they're incredibly powerful, and it's probably a meta I'm missing out on. But let's see. Gain access to a sentry turret, they build up heat, but the heat limit increases for each point in the skill line. Ooh, cool. Okay. Additional ammo from ammo pickups while standing near sentry turrets, or they can rotate full 360 degrees. I wonder what they can rotate by normally. Maybe 180. Quick melee on the sentry turret reduces its heat build-up. Wow. Can you just keep doing that? I don't know how that works. Your quick melee now reduces the sentry turret's heat build-up by 25%. That sounds really good. If you're near it and you keep smacking it, you can probably stop it from overheating altogether. You can now deploy a second one. You can deploy 2 additional ones. Wait, so that means at that point 2 additional on top of that additional, right? So I guess that means 4 in total, but all turrets build up heat twice as fast. But if you keep smacking them, you could just put 4 sentry turrets down, just keep beating each one of them up while the heist is going, and then just keep them going. That could be funny. Sentry turrets suffer 20% less heat buildup from enemy attacks and interference. Reduction is 50. When it's aced, when a sentry turret kills an enemy, it increases its damage by 3%. Bonus ends if your turret overheats or is removed from the field. Sentry turret's damage bonus increases to 5% and applies to all of the turrets in the network. The group bonus no longer ends if you pick up a turret, and any case of overheating only reduces the bonus by 20. That's good. I mean, again, I wasn't the biggest expert on SMGs back in the day, but that feels like that's more powerful than Payday 2. Sorry, sentry turrets, not SMGs. Intriguing. Okay, shotguns. Normal skill. 2.5% reduction in damage fall off for pellets for each skill point. Okay. Spread is reduced while in ADS. Good. That's very good. Okay. Additional damage to point blank range, raise the close range damage bonus to 60%, okay. Carry more reserve ammo, okay. 4% damage to each pellet that hits the same target, cool. I'm not noticing the far away skill here from Payday 2, which is fair, that was a bit cracked. For each shotgun pellet hits an enemy, your next shotgun reloads 1% faster from maximum of 70%, or increased to 2.5%. So that means you'd have to have 70 pellet hits for 70%, whereas it would need to be 28 pellet hits for you to get the full reload bonus there. So that makes that one a lot more worthwhile. Most shotguns, you could probably get that relatively easily if you reloaded it when it was empty. While reloading a shotgun, and for 1 second afterwards, you gain 50% less damage from enemies within 5 meters, and you can reload and fire shotguns while sprinting. Electrician, shot grenades. So increased blast radius, and additional electricity bouncing. Oh. So if you had a really tight crowd of enemies in a map, and you had loads of points in electrician, you could zap to basically every enemy in range. Wow, okay. Increased stun duration, receive additional shot grenades, additional pulses with the shot grenades. Destroying a zapper's battery or landmine restores a shot grenade. That's cool. Enemy will take extra damage for every time the pulse hits them. And for each time a shot grenade pulse hits an enemy, they lose 1 layer of armor for as long as they are stunned. Or enemies killed by affected by a shot grenade will emit an electric pulse. Now that one's good. Because if that can bounce, it benefits from all the electrician skills, yeah, but only enemies impacted from an actual shot grenade will emit additional pulses. So that's fair. So the additional pulses won't work, but like, for example, if you kill someone who's affected by a shot grenade, that suggests it'll emit a pulse, then zap to everyone again. That could be really cool. That could be really, really cool. Okay, Black Hats. This is the kind of cybersecurity one. There's a lot of waffle here. Here we go. Hacking cameras, gain a runtime. For every 2 points in this skill line beyond the first, receive an additional runtime. What? Hang on. So, like, I'm assuming somewhere in here there's got to be... Yeah, make a hack security camera loop its footage. So, hang on a minute. My current stealth build lets you loop up to, or block up to 5 cameras. 3 with loops, 2 with ECM jammers, or was it the other way around? Maybe it was 6. I don't know, I lost count. But again, for every 2 points you receive an additional runtime. Again, if you could put a lot of points in, you might be able to just loop 6, 7 cameras maybe, no? Like, that seems cracked. I'm not complaining, but that seems really good. I like the idea of just having full kind of like Watch Dogs-ass control over everything. That'd be cool. Hack drones by spending a runtime. Stealth drones stop moving and go blind for 7 seconds. Then they go back to normal, whereas combat drones become indestructible and fight on your side for 7 seconds before self-destructing. Okay. If a hack wears off, you're refunded the runtime. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so you can have camera looping. Spend 1 runtime to make a hacked camera automatically marked all guards or law enforcement within range. That costs an extra runtime. That's fair. Active ECM jammers, mark cameras, FBI vans, and all special type enemies for your crew. That's a good useful one for Loud as well then. If your loadout contains ECM jammers at the start, you get an extra one. 4% less damage for each marked enemy within 10 meters. Okay, your damage... But it marks special enemies. Okay, so if you can find a way to mark normal enemies, that would be good. Your damage reduction from marked enemies now extends to your entire crew. Multiple instances do not stack. Fair. Hacker guards rated to cause a distraction. Yeah, we know how that one works. That was fine. That's not changed at all. Yep, that's all fine. That's all, yeah, it's all the same. Radio hacks will distract a guard for 10 seconds instead of 5 if you ace it. What is it currently? It's about 5 seconds normally, right? So they're going to double it, so it makes it even stronger. While your ECM jammer is active, enemies become stunned for 5 seconds after anyone in your crew shoots them. This does not apply to dozers. When you destroy a cyber's battery, you regain an ECM jammer. There's some good build mixing up here. Hitman, how far into this are we now? Oh my god, we're only on the 4th one. I'm losing breath, man. I'm losing breath. For each point in the skill tree, handguns deal 2.5% more damage to unmarked targets or 10% more damage to marked targets. For each point in the skill line, handguns receive an accuracy bonus of 5%. Extra handgun ammo. It's just some really good stuff. I mean, unmarked... Hang on, I'm not even properly taking that one in. Extra damage to unmarked targets or more damage to marked. You just make handguns flat out stronger. If we're counting revolvers there, that's going to make like the Deagle, etc. Not the the Deagle and the what's it called? What's the revolver called from Boys in Blue? I forget. Someone's probably screaming at the screen right now. Makes them both stronger. Good. Weapon swap speed is increased by 20%. ADS speed increased from 20 to 70. More ammo. Holding a human shield and wielding a handgun gives you less damage taken. Shooting stunned enemies deals double damage. Killed a marked enemy with a handgun, you'll ping the nearest unmarked target within 10 meters. If you have 1 armor chunk or less, killing an unmarked enemy with a handgun will heal you for 5 health or 30 if you are below 75%. Could be good to mix with the dodge skills, maybe. Again, the skills where you have like more health or less armor, I'm noticing some kind of build synergy between those that are popping up here. Bounty Hunter. Now, what's the big one here? Kill a marked special enemy with a handgun, you receive a bounty. For Zapper, you restore a tool. For Nader, you restore a throwable. For Cloaker, you heal 20% health. For a Techie, you restore a broken armor chunk. Or for a Dozer, you restore a down. It has to be a marked special enemy, and it has to be a handgun. Whereas Ace bounties from killing marked special enemies are doubled. So you kill a Dozer, if it's marked with a handgun, you get 2 downs back, just flat out. That's That's really good. That's really good. Okay, razzle dazzle time. Keep moving. For each point in the skill line, stun duration of flashbang grenades is increased or range is increased. Additional grenades, yeah, I'm used to the stockpile versions here. Flashbang grenades are silent, making them undetectable to anyone outside the radius of the flash. Civilians caught by them cannot flee or receive help from hostage rescue for 120 seconds. Enemies caught by them are marked for the entire crew. And if you kill a marked enemy while they're stunned, they will drop an additional ammo box. If your flashbang grenade hits an enemy before colliding with an object or surface, it will detonate on impact. If your flashbang grenade detonates on impact with an enemy, the flashbang stun duration will last twice as long. Okay. Enemies affected by the grenades take more damage for each point in the skill tree. Oh. There's a normal one for all in the same skill tree up here, as well as down there. Wow, okay. If multiple heists apply the skill to a single enemy, only the highest value will count. Fair. Enemies affected by flashbang grenades will lose half their armor layers. This is incredible. This is a genuinely fantastic lineup of skills. I cannot quite believe this. Okay, Adrenaline Junkie. For every point in the skill line, adrenaline you gain increases by 5%. If you have no adrenaline at full health, walking unmasked within 1 meter of a civilian will give you adrenaline. Wow, okay. That seems like a very basic skill. I don't know. Because adrenaline's more useful in loud, right? And you're not going to be unmasked near civilians super often. So I don't know if that one's quite as beneficial, but that's just me being nitpicky. Cameras that detect you slower in private areas while unmasked. Employees detect you slower in secure areas while unmasked. Okay. While you're unmasked, your adrenaline no longer decreases. If you're unmasked and you have adrenaline, you will move faster. Oh. So a little bit of a movement boost from that. Right, okay, so I can see why those two connect now. Fine. You can use throwables while unmasked. This is considered an illegal action. You reduce the movement penalty from carrying heavy bags and items. While you're unmasked, cameras will not detect you performing illegal actions. Employees won't detect you performing illegal actions, so that's hall pass. Good. When you have adrenaline, gain a 2% damage bonus for each point added to this skill line. Wait, what? Just a flat-out damage bonus increase? Ooh. And increase by 3%, so it can be 5% more damage when you have adrenaline for every skill point here. So that could be interesting for use in loud, but a lot of these skills are stealth-based, so intriguing combination there. There might be a little bit more, kind of disparity between why you'd use different skills, and it might mean you'd be sinking points to certain skills that aren't useful to make the damage bonus stronger. Intriguing. Pill Pusher, what have you got? Revive crewmates faster for every point. When you revive a crewmate, your both means damage for a finite period, 0.4 seconds for every point in the skill line. That's good for getting someone out of a bit of a mess. Even a few seconds of invulnerability for you both to run for cover, that's good. Medic bag with additional charges, get an extra medic bag, more charges over here. Maximum health increases by 20 for each down you suffer. Every time you down, you mean? Each increase your max health bonus for each down by 30. So every time you down, you come back with more health. Scar tissue, that's interesting. And then pain tolerance. Any damage inflicted on your adrenaline is reduced by 10% for each down you have suffered. You also gain 25 adrenaline when you steal loose cash, perform a takedown, kill an enemy with a throwing knife, revive a crewmate when a crewmate uses your medic bag. You must be at full health to gain adrenaline. This skill counts half the points in the Pill Pusher line towards your number of downs. Wait, what was that last bit? This skill counts half the points in the Pill Pusher line towards your number of downs. It might be that I've read out a lot of information, but I'm starting to lose the focus of that particular one. Half the points in the Pill Pusher line towards your number of downs. But wait, hang on. For each 10% towards your number of downs. It's gonna make it stronger. Maybe my brain's not working, and please comment down below. I feel like a bit of an idiot right now. I feel like I'm not properly registering that one, but that does sound good. I'm just in my head right now. I think what's going on in the back of my head, I'm processing the idea of what happens when you have, you down a lot of times over and over again, you use med bags to restore your downs. Are you still going to gain health every single time? If you down 20 times, you're going to have more health than you could possibly know what to do with. I don't know. Medic bags heal 100% of maximum health. Whenever you deploy a medic bag, you and your crewmates within 5 meters of the bag return to full health. This will also revive downed heisters in range. What range? The 5 meters or a different one? Very cool. Okay. We're almost onto the last tree. Blimey. Okay. If your loadout contains throwing knives, you get an additional one for each point in the skill line. Ooh. For each point, throwing knives penetrate one enemy and hit whatever is behind them. Ooh. More damage, increased damage bonus, cause bleeding on target, so extra damage. Time it takes for an enemy to suffer their bleeding is shortened to 3 seconds. It takes less time for them to bleed. Okay. Hurl 2 throwing knives at once in a deadly arc. Or you can do 3 at once. Whoa. Okay. I feel like Kariko in Overwatch 2. Prison Shiv. Every 5 ammo boxes you pick will restore 1 throwing knife, but you can no longer get knives from ammo bags. I feel like that's a good trade-off, especially if you ace it and you get 3 ammo boxes. That makes sense. If you have at least 1 throwing knife performing a quick melee, an enemy will spend the knife to instantly kill your target. Whoa! This does not apply to those as throwing knives used this way cannot be retrieved. Yeah, that's fair, but you can still get them back from ammo boxes. If you're out of throwing knives, you may still quick kill enemies after a 30-second cooldown. That's good. That's really good. Okay. And then finally, we have the Puppet Master. So we're in the professional section now. Each hostage you trade counts an additional 1. For each 2 points in the skill line beyond the first, that count increases by 1. I wonder, again, you might be able to figure out the kind of points they're going for if they want these skills to perform similarly as they do right now. Because right now, the most you can get from a trade is 5, resources, right? So does that mean for every 2 points, so they count as 1 at base, then an additional 1 makes it 2. So then you would only need to put 6 more points in the skill tree to level it up to the point it's at right now in Payday 3. Surely there's more than 6 points going into this tree at most, though, so I think that's going to be stronger. Every guard and player law enforcement you trade counts additional hostage. Command up to 5 hostages to follow you at once. Consumable capacity increase. Shout at nearby guards, SWAT or heavy SWAT to make them surrender. If they stay in your sights, they will go down and drop on their knees and drop their weapon. Once taken hostage, they obey the rules of a civilian. You can also command up to 3 SWAT hostages at a time. For every 60 hostages you trade, you gain 1 deployable bag from the current loadout. This does not include sentry turrets. For every 30 you trade, you gain 1 deployable bag from your current loadout. That feels like that one might not be quite as easy to use. Or do they mean, persevering between heists? Surely they don't mean that. But some heists don't even have that many hostages. I guess they're expecting you would take a lot of cop hostages, I guess, maybe. That makes sense. Your crew gains a 33% damage reduction for every tied hostage in 15 meters, capping at 25%. Will not stack. Damage reduction is increased to 5%, cap raises to 50. Okay. I think I'd maybe reduce the ones on that, maybe, to 45 and 25, or 40 and 20 maybe would be a good one, possibly. I don't know. Long shot. Every point in the skill line increases the headshot multiplier with sniper rifle and marksman rifles by 1. For every headshot, your next shot will deal 10% more damage, but you missing a shot will reduce the bonus by 10, okay? More normal damage just at base, more ammo at base. Landing a headshot with them will break an enemy's armor layer. Also, shots will penetrate through 1 additional target while ADSing. When you land a headshot, 1 bullet will return to your magazine. Okay, so that's from Payday 2. Cooldown for getting a bullet reduces to 3 seconds. When you land a headshot with a sniper or marksman rifle, all enemies in 2 meters of the target take 25% of the original shot's damage. This effect will not penetrate armor. Okay, enemies within range that ricochet now take 100% of the shot's damage. Oh, Graze is back, baby. Graze is back. Oh, and finally, Ammo Specialist. For every point in the skill line, your ammo bags restore 5% additional ammo to all heisters. Ammo bags come with additional charges, and also if your loadout contains an ammo bag at the start, you get an extra bag, depending on which one you pick here. 2 additional throwables or 5 additional throwables. That could be good with throwing knives. Love that it's called Utility Belt. Once Heister interacts with the ammo bag, they deal 20% more damage with primary and secondary weapons, as well as throwables for 12 seconds, and you can raise this to 50%. And finally, when you deploy an ammo bag, all Heisters in 5 meters regain 2 throwables. Once Heister interacts with the ammo bag, they gain 0.8 armor penetration on their primary and secondary weapons for 12 seconds. I'm out of breath, and this is a 40-minute video, but I really do not care because this was well worth making. Folks, my brain is kind of overloaded with how many cool skills there are in here. There are some I think maybe not quite as strong, but things like I love Cutthroat. Cutthroat I really, really like. I really like Imposter, even though it's a little bit clashing on Loud and Stealth. The health skills could be really useful depending on how many downs you get. But even the grenade ones, I'm not the biggest grenade fan at times. I use some base ones. I never really consider them too much, but there's reasons to consider them as well. Hitman, another one I'm really liking. I'm a big handgun user, so I appreciate that. Black Hat, some really good stuff for stealth here. You've got shot grenade skills, shotgunner stuff, yeah, engineer. Sentry turrets, I might finally actually try some sentry turret stuff with how good these sound, to be honest. Smoke grenade skills, but particularly for me, the ones that are really standing out are Dodge from Ghost, as well as Commando for the LMG skills, and Juggernaut for the bonuses here for carrying bags at once, damage reduction. Actually, not even Juggernaut, sorry, I'm Commando and Grenadier, that's the ones I was thinking of. So, some real standout ones here, but there isn't really a bad sub-tree. Some maybe are weaker top skills, or there's some skills I might tweak the numbers on, but of course they've said that. These are all subject to change, but I haven't looked at this and thought there's one bad sub-tree. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of breath. I'm going to go and recover from 40 minutes of freaking out over actual cool-looking skills in Payday 3. But I want to know what all of you think in the comment section down below. Please let me know what you think of these skill builds, because I think there's some really, truly fantastic stuff here. I am thoroughly impressed. Hats off, Starbreeze. I really just hope you can turn this around relatively quickly. I don't know how soon you're planning this, whether it's end of the year, next year. I would love it to be by the end of this year. I think that would be fantastic. Year 2 has not had that much to show for it. It's been a few updates, a couple of heists, but realistically, if we're being serious, it's not been a great year for the game in terms of the amount of content that's been added. I would love to hit the ground running in year 3, now we're in it, with this relatively soon. I don't know if that's possible. I guess we'll find out, but Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, like I said, please consider clicking the subscribe button, clicking the like button, commenting down below, let me know what you think, help me boost this video out in the algorithm, especially with how little I've been uploading recently. But I really appreciate everyone for hanging out and watching this. If you've enjoyed it, please do let me know. Thank you for watching the last video. I greatly appreciate it. And as I've said, I'm hopefully going to put out a review on Sonic Racing Cross Worlds in the next week or so. So please keep an eye out for that because I am absolutely loving that game. And just generally, if you're a fan of kart races, whether you're a fan of Sonic or not, that game is worth checking out. So I'll talk about it soon enough. But thank you all for watching. I will see you all very soon with a new video. Look out for yourselves. Stay safe. Take care. Thanks for watching.